What up, y'all? It's your boy, the one and only A Switch, back at it again with that consistency. Um, Bringing you yet another episode of Switches Sites, my gaming podcast where I talk about any and everything gaming that speaks to me, appeals to me, what have you. Um, it's December. The year is coming to a close. We got that turkey in. Well, I guess it for some people do people eat? Well, ham is more so the bigger thing for Christmas, and to my understanding, my experience. But I guess that's conjecture. But you know what I mean. Yeah. Today's date is December 5th, 2019. We getting close. Yeah, that year is gonna come by quick. Or the end of the year is gonna come by quick. That's what I meant to say, but whatever. Excuse me if my voice is a little weird or I sound a little contained. I think I'm coming down with something. I hope I'm not. I hope it's just a flux. This throat feeling weird. My throat feeling weird. I don't know why. But I don't know. I can't even tell you. Outside of that, a lot of good, interesting news came out this week. So much to the point that I may have to cut some stuff out, but we'll play it by ear. We'll go off the cuff if need be. Yeah. So let's stop the dilly dallying and get into it. AKA I got them checkerboard teeth, aka let me put some caution tape on myself so I look more intimidating, aka is that a tube on your chest or you just happy to see me? I'm sorry, I had to get those out. Just get it out the way now. Just had to get it out. Okay. All right. First big ominous obvious topic of discussion. Resident Evil 3. I know we talked about it on our previous episode in terms of the rumors, but boy, oh boy, those rumors are getting more and more solidified with an apparent leak of the cover art for the game being leaked on PSN. Well, basically it's this site, GameStat.com, that basically tracks any changes to the PSN store, which at least in a lot of cases, well, I guess this is just overall just a big mishap anyway. Whoever did this probably got fired, let's be honest. But yeah, huge ass leak that basically showed like some pretty legit cover art for what is presumably the store art, like whenever you're browsing the PSN store and you want to pre-order a game, this would show. That's pretty much what it looks like. Basically the Japanese and US version, the one showing basically Nemesis in his entirety with his redesign, and in particular one showing the side angle of all the changes they made and update to him. So what up 3D glasses, how it go, man? So yeah, man, oh man, it's becoming more realer than ever. But yeah, and in terms of the overall look, I guess that's pretty much the only thing we can analyze. Looking pretty damn good. I'm just saying. Jill looking cute, looking real cute. Carlos looked like he was just a hobo. He was a hobo the day before he had to, he was like, oh crap, Umbrella needs me. All right, let me go to Raccoon City real quick. But I like him. I like his design compared to the PS1 original design. Everybody, and obviously so, pretty ripped off. Looked like looked like he stopped whooping people's asses in Tekken, and he's like, you know what? Let me well, I guess that's the storyline. He was hobo first, then he Heihachi came to him real quick. He was like, hey, I see you on these streets here, Miguel. So let me go ahead and give you opportunity, get you on your feet. I'm gonna let you compete in this King Iron Fist tournament if you willing, if you ready. And he was like, hey, I gotta do what I gotta do. So he whooped some people's asses, won the King Iron Fist tournament in his storyline at least. And then right after, he just, for some strange reason, he just got them connections. Albert Wesker was talking, had his number on speed dial real quick, and he was like, hey, gave him that ring. He's like, you know what, hey, I need you to work for me. I need you to go to Raccoon City, look over, make sure this whole secret operation goes according to plan. Is that kosher with you? It was he's like, hey, damn, man, I just whooped everybody's ass in the King Iron Fist Iron tournament. So you know what? Fuck it. Let's do it. Let me go real quick, and then I'll go back. Damn, my schedule is just so damn busy for no reason. I just went from a homeless man to being a King of Iron Fist tournament. Now I gotta, fight with Jill to try to save the world from complete utter destruction, if I can speak. That'd be an awesome storyline, to be honest. I love it. My favorite games, all in some weird continuity. I respect it, but in all seriousness, I'm Miguel, aka Carlos Riviera, looking really dope. I like his design. Overall, the designs look pretty good. Pretty satisfied. Jill, they took away, or got rid of the obvious, I guess, unrealisticness of a tube top and a skirt. Well, I guess we don't know what she has down there, but probably maybe some shorts or some pants. I don't know, one or the other. So overall, I'm pretty satisfied. Just my biggest gripe that I guess I'm on the fence about right now, at least from the art we see or that we can only go by, is basically Nemesis. His initial face is okay. I get what they're going for. They're trying to, make him look scary again. I am a fan of his original design. He looked cool and scary, and kind of like just brooding at the same time, if that makes sense. But my biggest gripe is the caution tape. I don't know how I feel about it yet. It just seems really tacky, but it's like I've said on ranted on Twitter a little bit. It's like, but then it's like he's a freaking bioweapon. I think trying to make a fashion statement is his last concern, but I mean, it's fine. Again, I mean, we haven't seen him in motion. We haven't seen a trailer or anything. So I'm okay with it. I think from the art too, they show this big apparatus on his chest that seems to hint at least going by previous Resident Evils and the Tyrant line models of the Tyrant model line. This Nemesis model is the finest, our newest, latest, and greatest. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be excellent. You're gonna be killing Stars members in no time. So I'm guessing it's just a protective apparatus to protect like the exposed heart, which is like the honestly like the Death Star Death Star of Resident Evil, really. It's like, well, we just have this big, obvious, apparent weak spot that obviously, pretty certainly is going to be a weak point to shoot at in the game. But we're going to try to cover it up and bring more attention to it. So, don't shoot it, you know, just FYI. The teeth is weird in a very creepy good way too. But all in all, yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it all. It's nothing too like, ugh, this is just horrible. Just some weird, interesting choices, but I respect them at the same time. But I mean, either way, we're just gonna have to see how it actually plays out in, I guess, reality, in motion. Because yeah, having all this in motion is definitely gonna show a little bit more, I guess, something to grasp and kind of like wrap our heads around, if anything. Because then again, cover art does differ a reasonable amount from the actual game in terms of in-game models and stuff, but it's not too far off, really. So, but yeah, we did get that one look at Jill. Boy, yeah, Jill, man, they did Jill so damn right. They did Jill so damn right. I'm just saying, okay. Jill, if you ever, I know you trying to save the world from mass destruction all the time, but I'm just letting you know, if you ever want to talk to me, I know I'm just a average Joe, but I'm here. I'm here for you. You may not be real, but actually I think she's based off a real model of the other Resident Evil games. Any indication, so there's a chance. Cue the Dumb and Dumber meme. So man, yeah. Then there's also been a lot of speculation in terms of when this is going to be announced. They did reveal, or at least Jeff Keighley did squash any rumors about it being announced at Game Awards. I don't know why I just blanked out at the Game Awards. So there's pretty much no chance of it coming to the Games Awards. So it must be coming. A lot of people are saying either this week or next week. A lot of people are saying via a PlayStation Direct, or I forgot their terminology, PlayStation State of Play or something like that, but I mean, I feel like Resident Evil has the capability of just dropping a trailer and announcing on Twitter, Resident Evil 3 is going to come to store shelves on January 15th, anniversary of Resident Evil 2 or something like that, which would be pretty awesome. I'd actually love that. It would be a reasonable, somewhat realistic release window. I mean, it'd be pretty short, but I mean, this game wouldn't necessarily need all the promotion. Everybody loves the game, especially fans of the Resident Evil series and stuff like that. But at the same time, I could see if they maybe went with a summer release or something like that, or I doubt it would be fall because of the new consoles, and it seems like they're trying to release this right before, before the next generation of consoles release, which is pretty apparent by all the news and stuff next fall. So yeah, I think it's definitely going to be announced soon, especially with all this art, for this art to be leaked, and I guess maybe questioning the credibility of this art. It seems pretty legit. I know some people may be, I guess, possibly thinking it's just it's fake or false, maybe reading too much into it, but this looks pretty realistic. This looks pretty honest in terms of what we'd be seeing. So I'm pretty sure it exists. And considering all the previous rumors of what a lot of other people's were confirming beforehand too, the validity seems to be pretty real. So that's very good to know either way. So definitely excited. Can't wait to see what they're going to do with this Resident Evil. If they're maybe possibly going to make it more actiony compared to Resident Evil 2, like the Resident Evil 3 was back then. It was more actiony, or way more actioned up than the original Resident Evil 2 was, which in of itself was a little bit more action focused than even the original Resident Evil. So I mean, it's I'm excited either way. Definitely, I'm hands down gonna play the hell out of it. But I'm just very curious to see what they're gonna do. What are the choices they're gonna make? How different is it gonna be from Resident Evil 2? Are they gonna basically cut and copy Resident Evil 2? I guess apparently development started like right after they were done with Resident Evil 2, but I think another team was mainly working on it. I think in conjunction with Resident Evil 2. Or maybe it was right after. I think it was right after. Maybe it was more realistic, but I think it was another development team. I think some of the folks that were working on Devil May Cry 5 are working on this. I forgot. It's something like that, something along those lines. But either way, it's obviously pretty close to completion, and to some capacity. So that is all good, and I'm all for it, and I cannot fucking wait. Okay, sorry, let me censor myself. I cannot for this. Give it to me right now. Give me it right now. Boy, I would love this to be a super shadow drop, but that I think that's very unrealistic for games nowadays in terms of the standard process of trying to get games out, and ensuring the success of sales and whatnot, and bringing it to people's attention that otherwise aren't as, I guess, in video game or enthusiastic about video games and follows up on video games like us. But I digress. So it's a little I think that's a good amount of gushing over Resident Evil 3. But boy, oh boy, I am very, very, very excited, ecstatic, all positive emotions for this. So many things that the questions that I'm curious about. Are they gonna keep the decision system? Are they gonna elaborate on that? Will you still be able to fight Nemesis like the traditional sense? Is he gonna stalk you more now in more like unconventional ways? Is it gonna be like basically Tyrant from Resident Evil 2, like remake, pretty much throughout the whole damn game, where no place is safe? If can he break through anything, and then you have to, I'm very curious, fascinated on all fronts. Is Carlos going to have a more prominent role now, or is he still going to have a lesser role, or is going to be kind of building him up similar to Resident Evil 2, where it's just going to be just two campaigns between the two? I doubt that, and in terms of trying to stick to the essence of Resident Evil 3, I think Jill, it was mainly Jill's story, and kind of her literally her story throughout the whole game. I don't think they would necessarily do that. I think he would just get a little bit more I don't know, I guess exploration of his background possibly, but I don't think I think they'll stick true to the original IP or game. Yeah, man, so many damn questions. Are there gonna be new locales? Are they gonna add some new stuff like the original Resident Evil remake? Maybe some stuff that made sense, some like cool stuff that maybe they scrapped when developing for Resident Evil 3. It's so much stuff I want to know right now. But hopefully, it seems like it'll be soon before the Game Awards next week. So I mean, fingers crossed. If not, I think it was some other show that it could possibly show up at. But man, I don't know. The cat's out the bag for the most part now. I mean, it's might as well just. It's like, okay, well, you leaked it. All right, here you go. Here you go. Can't tell you guys nothing. Whatever. I don't know. Okay, man. Can't wait. Cannot wait. Next in news. So Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, he just want to gloat. He just want to stun on us. He's like, on Twitter, the other day. He was like, and it started this week. Quote. Let me get. Let me start over. I couldn't do it. All right. And it started this week. I brought my Project Scarlet console home, and it's become my primary console, playing my games, connecting to the community, and yes, my Elite Series 2 controller, having a blast. Great work by the team. 2020 is going to be an incredible year. It's like, okay, all right, Phil, why don't you just shove it in our face about how you got the freaking next generation console already, and we don't. Okay, you're the head of Xbox, but still, I'm still jealous. So I mean, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here, Phil? Ball's in your court, buddy. Um, but at least this confirms a lot of stuff that they pretty much are somewhat solidified in the decision of the, I guess, the console. Maybe not necessarily form factor, but just the general dynamics of the makings of the console and all that stuff, and have a working model. If anything, I'm pretty sure they're definitely close to probably just doing mass production, getting everything ready for the release next year. So all in all, good news, some good confirmation. Like, it's kind of like reminds me similarly to when something goes gold. In game speak, when like a game has a finalized copy that can be sent to mass production to be released to the masses or whatever physically. So all in all, good stuff. Good news to hear in general. And I guess piggybacking on new console, next gen console hype speculation news. Apparently, the rumors of the cheaper discless next generation Xbox actually might be still valid. Beforehand, which was the code name for it, was Lockhart. So I guess the original idea was that the Project Scarlet, which is going to be the main flagship console, and then there's going to be a cheaper, more affordable, I guess that's kind of redundant, model, which is the code name Lockhart, which is basically technically, I guess, having the Xbox One X and then Xbox One S already, instead of doing that tiered, I guess, staggered mid-gen upgrade, which technically probably would be still the same thing, but who knows? I guess the future will still remain. But then there was a couple of reasons, it seems like, for that, because at least especially on Xbox's end, because the console was at a severe disadvantage compared to the PlayStation 4. So Xbox definitely needed to have a mid-gen upgrade more than PlayStation, which I think PlayStation might have did it on reaction to Xbox. I guess that's hard to say, or hard to, I guess, fully confidently say without any, I guess, cold hard facts, huh? But I'm pretty sure that was roughly the concept or idea, if anything. So, but in terms of those rumors, they did come back up, and that there is actually some more validity now that actually is. There was a change in that plan that actually is going through. So that seems to be interesting, if anything. This is from Kotaku, actually, specifically, in regards to that. But what was it confirmed by? It was confirmed, I think it was in an interview. Double check just to be sure. Didn't say it was working lower cost. Yeah, they've been floating around. Oh, a game developer. Yeah, game developer. That's what it was. Game developer confirmed it. That, yeah, basically there are two consoles that they are developing for, whatever. So that does bring a point of concern, really, in terms of, how games have been handled this generation, where obviously the lesser model has been compromised, and arguably the upgraded version of the game has technically as well, since you have to, um, I guess, put some focus of that work for the console to the lesser one because of that, and then basically having to consider both the higher grade model and lower grade model. They're obviously, I mean, not maybe necessarily obviously, but a lot of developers probably would take the easy way out in terms of working on the lower spec version first, and then just simply upscaling it rather than like natively doing a lot of intricate upgrades to the game, hypothetically. Which is, definitely would seem like an advantage. I guess we ultimately, yeah, it would definitely be like game to game basis, but not necessarily um really, I guess, evident until we actually see it in the wild, and it actually, like when we see some digital foundry analyses of kind of the how the performance fares out, what design choices were made between the two consoles, or whatever. So all of that is fine, but I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I mean, it's definitely good from a consumer standpoint for sure. For people who otherwise, never want to get physical, never want to just want to have a quick and easy subscription model. Like, obviously they're building up Game Pass for this console specifically, where regular Joe who maybe is moderately into games, not too much to get physical copies and follow it as closely as some of us do, but they want to still be in a loop and play some games here and there. And then obviously Game Pass is a big ass proposition for that, since you get to dabble in everything you want for that freaking ridiculous great price. I feel like I'm like a spokesperson for a secret undercover spokesperson for Game Pass, but I'm speaking legitimately, man. That is a great deal. That is a great deal. So, yeah, all in all, it makes sense. I'm just concerned with how it will affect development of, I guess, maybe not exclusives as much, but more so multi-platform games. So we'll see. But speaking of multi-platform and, kind of the ongoing question of, disparity between the two consoles in terms of which one will be powerful. Also from Jason Schreier of Kotaku, he did confirm some pretty solid details in terms of the PS5 and the next Xbox will have very similar specs, and both being very powerful. So that's definitely good, that there is not going to be any like big obvious detriment between the two consoles, at least that we are aware of now, at least. And this will probably be the first in a good while where we haven't had like a huge glaring difference between the two consoles in terms of power, significance of power, if you will. So I mean, it's a great thing, because I mean, I can't even think of the last. Probably be the PlayStation 1 and N64 era. Probably was when there was like pretty close graphical fidelity between the two. If I recall correctly, it was pretty close, I'd say. Maybe PlayStation a little bit more, but again, it wasn't necessarily night and day. And then Nintendo had a lot of pluses going against it too, with technically faster loading times and the cartridge model and things like that. Multiplayer off the bat, four controller ports and all that good stuff. So yeah, because I mean, then you had the PS2 original Xbox era, where the Xbox was apparently faster, obviously faster, better graphics, maybe not necessarily facts. That's somewhat suggestive, but um, from a horsepower standpoint, than anything. And I'm trying to think of the 360. I think technically the PS3 was more powerful, but because of the architecture of the PS3, it was very hard to develop for without any issues. So technically, the Xbox 360 had the upper hand there, even though ultimately the PlayStation, I think, technically won at the end of the run, if you will. But just it was some pretty apparent, I don't know, somewhat obvious differences. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting when we have two consoles that are very neck and neck in terms of power. That there isn't like one that's obviously better. So that's definitely just gonna come down to other dynamics in terms of the user interface and stuff like that. That I think is gonna be pretty fascinating to kind of see play in action, see what one other company does to kind of overrule the other and things like that, especially with Xbox having Game Pass. Because I mean, if we consider those dynamics, I think that's definitely going to put the pressure on Sony to kind of beef up their subscription service with, I guess, which seems like what they're doing with PS Now. At least before, first it used to be just strictly streaming, but now they're also adding downloading games and being able to literally download games and or stream games now, instead of just having you restricted to streaming games. So gonna be very interesting to see all that play out. But that is good to hear that they're both gonna be very neck and neck. It seems like, even in load times as well. So I think both. I don't know if they have like a weird mutual agreement or something, or like I know technically the Xbox One S has the disc, had to technically pay Sony for their disc drive, since it uses Blu-ray disc, which is owned by Sony, which I always find is kind of funny. But it's like, it's what can you do? It's the biggest popular platform for their media, so it only makes sense. I'm curious if there is some weird kind of there's got to be a term for it, but I'm not familiar with it. At least it's not coming to my mind, where they have some weird semi pseudo partnership, but they are competitive at the same time. So it's a little like weird. It's like a relationship that's like open, and like, hey, I could see other people, but I don't necessarily want to. But I don't want you seeing other people though. I mean, I kind of want to, but no, I don't want you to though. So what do we do? So I don't know. Maybe a bad analogy, but I hope you get what I'm saying. So, interesting stuff, man. This is just gonna be just a very interesting generation coming up, just to see kind of the failures that and being a consumer firsthand, like relishing in those failures, like the Xbox Red Ring of Death, PlayStation 3's network outage and breach. It's just going to be very interesting to see how they have learned from all those mistakes, and even the mistakes this generation with the whole holiday DDoS attack, I believe, for both consoles. At least when it initially came out in 2013. So, man, it's just going to be very interesting to see if they just both companies do everything just exactly right, and just to see the greatness of competition between both. I think that's just going to be just very fascinating just to see. I don't know. That just immensely interests me. I want to know. And to not, single out the Switch in all this console news. Apparently the Switch doesn't have anything to worry about, because they had the best weekend sales ever in the US in terms of Black Friday sales, which is, obviously the biggest opportunity for sales for pretty much anything really. But in particular, Nintendo had that I don't know, had that glow, I guess, had the shiny Pokemon, the shiny Gyarados. I don't know if that's the That's the I guess it's any Pokemon really, but don't know how. I tried to tie it in because Pokemon's with Nintendo. It's okay. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. So apparently it's so like I want to say like oh boy, like 80 nearly a million units in this week. So 830,000 units to be exact, and actually bringing the total sales of the Switch up to 17.5 million units. That's kind of crazy. And honestly, sadly, probably more than the Xbox One, I'm guessing, since, Xbox has been pretty coy about their sales so far, which is understandable because you want to just, I guess, blatantly, advertise their sales compared to the other competing companies if they know it's not even close. So, but it's okay. I love you, Xbox. I mean, you know that. I mean, you know that. So, but I love all my consoles. But good on Nintendo Switch. Can't wait to see if they're gonna actually, try to compete with these consoles as well, and bring out that rumored Switch Pro. That'd be pretty dope. That'd be pretty dope. It'd be the perfect opportunity. Try to capitalize on it. I'm just thinking in my head like WWE style, like at E3, let's say hypothetically, PS4 has their direct, Xbox has their press announcement, and then what out of nowhere, oh my god, is that Nintendo? Oh my, is that another Switch? Oh my god, out of nowhere, a no Nintendo Switch, oh my god. I don't know. That's my WWE announcer voice. I mean, WWE, if you listening, I mean, you could pick me up. I mean, I'm not cheap though. I'm just like I'm not cheap though. So yeah, good stuff, Nintendo. Always good to see some success going on. They deserve it, especially, considering the shame that was the Wii U. RIP. Good to see them come back in the game. Uh, still stand on their feet. Next news. Going back to the Game Awards and how Jeff Keighley in an AMA today, answering pretty much questions, any questions. Hence, AMA asks anything. There were some interesting details that were kind of confirmed, solidified, if you will. In particular, was the Resident Evil 3 remake rumor, since obviously in comparison with this leak, or in conjunction with this leak and the apparent Game Awards becoming or going on soon or next week to be exact, it was pretty safe assumption to assume that this would be announced or got leaked and was supposed to be announced at the Game Awards. Since on top of that, Resident Evil 2 remake is one of the nominees for the Game of the Year, as well as a couple other awards. So as well as some other Capcom representation. So wouldn't have been too far of a stretch in terms of speculation to put two and two together and think like, hey, maybe with this leak and all these rumors going around, maybe they might announce this at the Game Awards. But apparently that's not the case, and Jeff Keighley squashed that like immediately when he said it. So what he said in terms of one of the Reddit users asking a question, there are no plans, never were, to do anything with Resident Evil 3 at the show. Keighley said, a lot of these leaks are completely wrong. Nothing about our show has leaked as of this writing, which is actually pretty good. I'm very surprised that he managed to keep all this stuff under wraps, to be honest. Consider, this leaker nature of everything, just getting spoiled to oblivion. But yeah, that just raises more questions. And then, I mean, on top of that, if you want to really look into the dynamics of it, I guess the pessimist could say, well, then so I guess it led a lot of people to think that okay, so those Resident Evil 3 art cover art leaks were fake, which I think is not the case at all. Because then, like I was talking about earlier, that this must be getting announced before the Game Awards within either this week or next week. So it's either that or I think there's this other event which I cannot remember what it's called. I think in Japan specifically or something like that, where I guess Capcom is expected to announce a new game, which technically possibly could have been this Resident Evil 3. So who even knows anymore? I don't even know. Do you know? Because I don't. I don't even know anymore. What is life? But and then you could look at the dynamics, like a nerd would say, like, well, he said Resident Evil 3. He didn't say Resident Evil 3 remake, but I think it's pretty obvious he meant Resident Evil 3 remake. That's what pretty much everybody is looking at. And I guess betting their money on, So I don't even know, man. But yeah, I guess, the fact that he said all these leaks are completely wrong, which, he might be speaking on a lot of other stuff. Maybe just by coincidence, people were thinking that he was referring to Resident Evil 3, which he may have not. He might have been the other ones, like a lot of the other games, like Vanquish, which we'll talk about a little bit later, Elden Ring. But he said that there are going to be 10 new games that haven't been announced, but I think they're also going to be existing games in conjunction with those 10 brand new ones that are, we might have not seen for a while, I'm going to guess, and that we're going to see some tidbits of, if anything. So it's that's good news though. 10 new games that we've not seen before. That's what he definitely said. So I mean, Keeley is a stand-up guy. He hasn't guided us wrong before. So I mean, gonna be interesting to see what those games are. I'm pretty sure one of them has to be a new Smash character announcement, especially if the character is gonna come out in February. This would definitely be a great date for that, which I think is pretty likely. So who knows? Could be that Batman Arkham or whatever Rocksteady is working on with. I think it's still no. I think it's something in DC though. I don't even know. I don't think they even solidified that. So who knows? But either way, I think gonna be fascinating to see. Again, I'll be there, so I'll be seeing all that live in action. Hopefully, if it's some new game that comes out or announced and the pre-orders come out for like the game, if I really love it, hope I'm not screwed with the Wi-Fi, but we'll see. We'll see. We shall see. Good stuff though. Keeping in line with hopeful, I guess, hopeful speculatory games. I guess not sure how to really define it, but Blue Point Games, the people that were making or have remade or I guess their expertise has been remaking a lot of games, including Shadow of the Colossus, and it was another one that does not come to my head real quick. It was Shadow of the Colossus and some other game. I don't think it was Dark Souls. I think somebody else did that one. What was it? It was it's gonna drive me crazy. It's gonna drive me crazy. I see their track record. Oh, Uncharted Nathan Drake collection? That seems likely. And they did Metal Gear Solid HD collection too? Huh. Yeah, they definitely have a great moniker of their IP. God of War collection. Yeah, they're definitely they definitely established their or their experience in remaking those games, because those have maintained great immense quality. But while we're talking about them in terms of basically, they had a very weird cryptic tweet regarding their next project for PS5, which was confirmed. We don't know what it is yet, though. But the interesting terminology is that PS5 project will become the achievement we're most proud of. So, considering their track record, this has got to be substantial. So most people, including myself, guessing that it has to be Demon Souls Remastered, which would be a pretty solid pick, since a lot of people have been wanting that, and definitely that's a perfect launch title for the PS5 for sure. Just to have that game remastered and experience all that turmoil and salt, increased sodium levels in all its entirety. But we'll see. That's the most likely. Can't really see any other game. I guess possibly some people are thinking Metal Gear Solid, but that is like with the development hell and just the whole Konami making Pachi slot machines out of everything. That doesn't seem really likely at all. And then just the licensing, that does not seem likely. It would be cool, but I doubt it. And then on top of that, it's been remade so many times. Well, not so many times, but technically it's been remade before with Silicon Knights, even though that's been pretty subjective, or I guess controversial for a lot of people. I'm on the boat of thoroughly enjoying it, but it is what it is. So, yeah, man. I do hope it is Demon Souls. I definitely go through that pain again, even though I somewhat recently went through it for the first time. This was last year where I had I played through it in its entirety. I had to take a break from it for like a good month or two, where I just got immensely frustrated, but I did get back on it and did see it through and beat it. And boy, it was a great feeling. It's always a great feeling for these types of games. So I'm definitely want it. Out of pretty much the likelihood of any other ones, this is definitely the one I'd want the most anyway. And it's kind of cool to kind of have the frame of reference of actually playing the game on the original PS3. So that's going to be kind of cool to kind of reflect, see all the stuff they upgraded and did. Now that I have a somewhat fresh concept of what the game was, beforehand. So all in all, I'm curious what makes them so proud of it. I guess maybe just how they managed to just redo everything untouched or what, but they are proud of it. It's going to be the achievement they're most proud of, so it's got to be something that they did that's going to be great. I don't know, but seems to have and hold some merit. So we shall see. Only time will tell. It's got to be announced soon, I hope. Keeping in line, for those that don't know, one of the most fun multiplayer games in a good while, Halo Reach, also a great campaign as well, not to discredit the single player, did come out this past Tuesday for PC for the first time, as well as on the Xbox One. I think it's $10 as an add-on. If you have Xbox Game Pass, you get it for free, or technically free, whatever, as long as you have the subscription, I'm certain. Also on Steam on PC as well. So if you have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you can play it on through Xbox Game Pass for PC. So a lot of options in terms of playing it. But to speak on the player count, goodness, at 160,000 concurrent users on Steam. And just to give you some scale, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, which is the top dog, 260,000. Dota 2, 212, 641,000. And then you have Halo Master Chief Collection right under that with, at least at the time, 150, roughly 160,000. So, Jesus, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. A lot of former Xbox fans apparently are on PC now, or maybe people that are curious about Halo, maybe never tried it. Thought, hey, like now it's on PC, I have no excuse. Probably wanted to give it a try too. And obviously, this is definitely the perfect place to jump into Halo, considering this takes place before one really, which starts the whole Master Chief collection. I guess people could be pretty anal about it and well, Halo, Master Chief, this is not really Master Chief's story, so it can't really be in this game because it's not Master Chief, and I would tell you to shut the fuck up and mind your business. So yeah, you could tell him I said that. You could tell him I said that right now. I don't care. And even beat PUBG, which PUBG was kind of dwindling in terms of its popularity, or I guess player base. Not too much, but that's pretty crazy when you think about it. So, at least that speaks to the success of Master Chief Collection, kind of coming back in the good graces of Halo fans, because for those that don't know, just the horrible initial release of the Master Chief Collection on Xbox One when it came out 2014, I believe, 13 to 14, where the matchmaking was pretty horrible, pretty atrocious. The matchmaking times were ridiculously long. I will say for myself in particular, I didn't necessarily have that problem. Maybe here or there I did, but for the most part, I was able to get into games reasonably quick. But it was kind of hit or miss, and it seems like it affected majority of the people. So, either way, it's fine. But I know there's been a misconception for a lot of folks in terms of Master Chief Collection that they thought that with the release of Halo Reach that you could play all of the Master Chief games on PC right now, which is not the case. They're doing a staggered release, so it's Halo Reach, and then later on in the year 2020, at least they plan to release everything out. Is going to be Halo 1, Halo 2, 3, 4, and that's it. So it's definitely a better plan than what they did before, where they released all these games out in the wild and they didn't know what was going on, they didn't know what was the culprit. So now it's pretty smart actually, so they can kind of mitigate and try to find out when they stagger each new release, what could be causing a problem, and kind of nip that in the butt real quick, rather than be I don't know, and then play whack-a-mole in terms of try to find a bug or whatever, which was kind of the case with the Xbox One version, which is now in good pristine condition. So yeah, but actually no, we'll save that for later, where I'll talk about the games, what I've been playing. Segment there. So, but yeah, good on Halo, kind of come at his graces and actually show Valve some love by releasing their title on a non-Microsoft platform, for Steam of all people. I was gonna be pissed if this was yet another game that got released to the Epic Game Store, man. But good on Microsoft, man. Y'all some good ones. I'm just letting y'all know right now. And man, it's some weird, I don't even know how to even assess this, to be honest. It's just a weird ass story. I just had to talk about it because what? So Devil May Cry, apparently they're coming out with a game. And now thinking about it, I don't even like the title that much. Devil May Cry Pinnacle of Combat for iOS and Android. And boy, it's a lot of problems with this game. I ain't gonna lie to you though, I probably play it because it does look kind of tight from a gameplay perspective. But from a graphical standpoint, everybody looking like them weird ass Double Dragon, that horrible Double Dragon game on the Xbox, and I think PS3 and Xbox 360, and just the models like Dante kind of look like if they took his ugly ass Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite model and put it in the game, but then like put it through a dryer and washer. Nope, that wouldn't make sense. Actually, you know what? For this context, it does. Put it in a dryer and washer, and then there you go. Devil May Cry Pinnacle Combat. Devil May Cry POC. Devil May Cry POC. Not to be confused with the other the side story. Devil May Cry People of Color was going to be the sequel, or the prequel to where it had Dante if he was black or in black face or whatever. I mean, it was a weird choice, but it was like it was a Devil May Cry game. I mean, you could do bullet hell, you could do that. I mean, it's fine, but it's not the Devil May Cry I wanted. I mean, I do like a black Dante, but I mean, it's like, why you gotta beat us over the face with it? Devil May Cry People of Color. I don't. Why though? That is just a weird title. Pinnacle of Combat. I don't get it. Whatever. I'd still play it though. I'm like knocking the hell out of it, but I would be lying to you if I'm not curious to try and play it. Cause it looks like, especially because I saw the trailer, it looks like they like took all the assets from Devil May Cry 3, dropped it into Devil May Cry 4, and then put like maybe a couple new enemies here and there, but it just looks weird. But the gameplay looks good. It looks very akin to Devil May Cry 3, so it's like that's got my attention. If anything, I mean, if it's controller support with the new iOS update, I definitely would try it. Maybe if it's on Apple Arcade for iOS, I might give it a dabble. I've been holding off on trying out the I think it's a free month of iOS Apple Arcade. Since I never really had the time to, and whenever I do get some substantial time, or if I'm gonna be traveling or something, I might try to dabble with that. But I don't know, man. I mean, I'm gonna probably try it out if anything, but they just look ugly. They look so ugly. I'm sorry, Devil May Cry Mobile, but I mean, I'm just saying. Okay, moving on from that. I guess a surprise to Owen, really, considering all the stuff that happened. But a E3 media study was showing a decline in media attendance and coverage, which shouldn't be a surprise to nobody, especially considering what happened this last year with E3, with people I forgot the company that runs it, E3 in general, ESRA, where they basically just got their data breached and just revealed all the information of all of the media in terms of phone numbers and addresses, which is just a good time for everybody, right? So that's a factor. And then on top, to be honest, 2019 was a slower year for at least new announcements or expectations of announcements. And then it's always that weird year before the cusp of the new, I guess, generation of consoles, wave 2. So I mean, for this year in particular, it's pretty understandable, but I guarantee you 2020 is definitely gonna hike that back up, especially with the hype of the new consoles coming out. And I'd be Pretty surprised if PlayStation decided yet again to not make appearance this next year, but considering they got a console to promote as well as games, apparently, I don't see that happening. I'm pretty sure they are going to make their appearance and try to get you guys to get a PS5. I'm just saying. I mean, that makes sense, but I just found this interesting. But on top of that, a lot of people arguably are just covering E3 from home, like even like media. Well, I mean, media in particular, which is this is poking too. And then, I mean, it doesn't help now that E3 is starting to accept general public also, which, even though they do still allocate a couple days to media and press before the general public can come on the following days. But a lot of those factors do kind of muddy up stuff and, makes things, I guess, maybe a little bit, maybe more undesirable, where you just have a lot of just general public that are just they'll wait in line just to play one game, which I don't know if I can even do that. And I'm a huge fan of a lot of games, maybe Resident Evil 2 at the time, if I did go. But it just varies. So, but yeah, I don't see that being an issue. If anything, E3 will probably just start resorting more towards the public and turning it more into a public thing with, maybe just a lot of appointments for like media and stuff, being able to play with them themselves, in that capacity or something like that. So not too worried about it. I'm pretty sure the ESA is going to try to keep E3 going as long as they can. Just as long as the big guns don't start backing out like PlayStation did the 1 year. But who knows? Who knows at this point? But going back on those, I guess, somewhat rumors, not necessarily rumors of kind of, yeah, I guess they are for, I guess I'm saying that because Jeff revealed that they aren't rumors, so it's actually not a rumor because it's not going to be at his show. But technically, it is validated somewhat, but not officially announced that Vanquish Remastered is coming to Xbox One and possibly PS4. It's not really confirmed, but it's pretty safe to bet that it's probably going to be on PS4 since that's the more popular platform of the two. Just that it was leaked on the Microsoft Store. And then possibly Bayonetta as well. Since they kind of did bundles, at least if the PC is any indication, where they normally bundle Vanquish with Bayonetta. And then, they already have the PC architecture already set in place for both of the games. So it only makes sense that they would do that also. So it only seems to make sense to me. But the details pretty much kind of confirm it for the most part that, 4K graphics at 60 FPS available for Xbox One X, specified the damn console remastered for the first time on Xbox One. So maybe it might be some time exclusivity, but it's pretty safe to bet that this is going to be on the PS4 as well. Maybe if not immediately, later down the line or something like that. And they did confirm the date is in February, so that is kind of cool. Love me some Vanquish. That game was pretty dope. I definitely will play it again. It was pretty short too, also on top of that. But in some 4K 60 FPS glory, you damn right I would. Not sure about the double pack. I hope they release them separately. I don't know. Something feels tacky about a double pack, at least physical. Digital, totally fine, but maybe that's just the organizationist in me. I try to refrain from OCD because people are sensitive to that because they oh, you don't have OCD because you're not, that's a actual condition that people have. And okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. So organizationist in me, whatever. So cool stuff. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers the news this week. A surprising amount of stuff happened right on the cusp of the end of the year. Well, I guess that's probably the reason why most people are trying to get ready for the holidays. Getting game of the year stuff out of the way for a lot of news outlets and stuff. So makes sense there. Almost forgot. Let me I cover real quick. They did announce some new Switch. If I have it, they announced some new Nintendo Online and Super Nintendo Online games. Star Fox. What was it? It was some other games. What weren't any that spoke out to me? Super Punch Out for the SNES. And then I think Return to Silas for the NES, and then one other game. None of them really spoke to me, but at least it's good to know that they they still trying to build up their N64. That's what they should be doing, working on next. Maybe we might find that out like at E3 or something, because that's what a lot of people want. N64, either N64 Classic or a N64 online store or whatever. That would be pretty cool. But it's pretty good. Pretty good stuff. Okay, now back to let's get into games. Man, I'm pretty proud of myself. I mean, I technically shouldn't because I'm like, well, good job. You played a lot of games. So what do you want? You want a cookie or something? But for somebody like me that easily gets distracted with a lot of other issues and miscellaneous stuff that happens, I am very proud of myself for getting through a lot of games or having a lot of variety over the holidays. So just to cover a couple of games I did play, because I did play a lot. The first one was A Way Out. So, man, I had the biggest problem trying to get this out, actually play this, because the game doesn't support matchmaking, so you had to do some extra leg work to try to find somebody to play. But luckily, my sister was in town, so actually, I just the thought dawned on me, and she was wanting to play some games. I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's play this. And man, it was actually pretty fun. I really liked the direction, the choices they made, and a lot of the just the design choices overall. How it ended was pretty interesting, fascinating. Overall, yeah, I was very surprised by this game, and not too long. I think it didn't overstay its welcome. It definitely just provided the message it wanted to, and then just left it at that, which I was pretty satisfied with as well. So definitely recommend it if you haven't played it. Came out last year, and yeah, it's for those that don't know, this is actually the game that's associated with the dude Joseph Ferris that created the, I guess it's just the infamous moment of the Game Awards. We're like, fuck, cause whatever, blah blah blah, So, goes to show, I guess he can make a pretty good game. So I mean, at least he wasn't lying. He wasn't lying about the hey, this is gonna be the best game ever. I was like, yeah, you're actually pretty right. I guess that was pretty valid. So yeah. Next, I did fully play Man of Medan. So for y'all that don't know, this is the game that was made by the same folks that made the one game Until Dawn. If you made that, where basically it was just like a interactive horror thriller, if you will. It had a really cool feature that I did as well, play with my sister, in terms of I forgot what they call it, but basically it's multiplayer, where it's kind of like, reminds me of Super Mario, where you can just pass the controller, where you have control of you can control the fate of particular set of characters. So if you want to just control just these two characters, one person controls two, another person controls another two, and then when your turn comes up, it'll tell you whoever's turn it is, and then you just pass the controller and then kind of experience, see how they react, how they fare in terms of the decisions they make. And then ultimately at the end of everything culminates, and see who lives and who dies. That's kind of the biggest, I guess, luster about this game, is that, pretty much technically everybody can die. And it's kind of up to you to try to make the best decision to try to not have that happen. But boy, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. Some of these scenarios are pretty, I guess, rage inducing to the fact that I can't. I'm not gonna go to the extreme of rage inducing, but just annoying to the point where it's like they give you something. They like for one example, not spoiling anything. There was one point in the game where you had this particular moment and you had to do a button prompt, but the button prompt was very, like, it seemed intentionally vague in terms of what you were supposed to do. So you generally have two choices when you have to press a button. You either have to tap it a lot to fill up, expand this circle to get it all the way out to actually fulfill the requirement or whatever, or you just press it. So from at least the angle and the lighting, at least it made it look like it was the other button prompt where you just press the button and don't have to keep tapping it. And then the timing was ridiculously, like, unforgiving. So by the time you press the circle and you think, oh, okay, I did it, and you're like, oh crap, no, I have to keep tapping it, and then pretty much it's too late, and then the said event happened and one of the characters got killed, and then I'm like, well, fuck. So I just messed up the whole damn playthrough, or tarnished the whole damn playthrough just because of that. Which is like, oh well, I guess you have to play the whole damn game again to try and figure out what you did wrong and do it better this time, now that you know. Which I found it more interesting and engaging with Until Dawn. I guess maybe it was because it was new and I didn't really have a grasp of it, but just for this game, I don't know. I guess maybe I just didn't have the patience for it, or I just the way they did that particular moment left a very bad taste in my mouth. Where I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm done with that. So I don't know. To its credit, though, the game is pretty short. It's like roughly 3-4 hours. So you technically could, run it through again, but I don't know. I just didn't have the motivation. I just ended up looking on YouTube, just all the spoilers of all the ways that people could die, and then all the choices or the difficult choices you'd have to make that you otherwise wouldn't know, other than having to play it again and try and find out. So who knows? Maybe if I'm bored one day and maybe am not playing anything else, which is very unlikely, probably maybe would want to try it again. But it's like now I kind of already got the fulfillment of how all the endings are, and there actually are surprisingly a lot of damn endings to this, and some weird secret ones, some weird like variations here and there that it's like that just seems just kind of remedial to just keep doing this for just a very slight variation here and there. But to each their own. But overall, I did have a pretty good experience with it. It's pretty. I'm glad I did get it. It was reasonably cheap as well, because it is a part of a series or anthology. So this is the first part, and then when you beat the game, you do get a trailer for the next part. I think it's called Little Hope. I think that's the title for it. So if you want it, you can look up a YouTube video of it, and it'll show you kind of like what to expect for that one. But you can probably expect the same vein of roughly, trying to keep everybody alive, and hopefully you don't get screwed over by some dumbass, unclear weapon. QTE that ultimately ends up having you kill somebody you didn't want to kill. But I digress. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Then like I mentioned earlier, Halo Reach. I had. Overall, it was pretty good experience from the games I played, but there is one big gripe I do have, is that the matchmaking, I think it seems like it's due to the huge flux of players that are joining. I'm guessing, but had a pretty difficult time finding matches, because it just took a really long time to find matches. And what kind of adds more credence to the suspicion is that if I were to with Halo Reach or Halo Master Chief Collection queuing system, or I forgot the term they call it, but basically lets you select what games you want to include in your matchmaking search and all that. I excluded Halo Reach out of it, and then just tried to search for all the rest of the games, and was able to get a game pretty quick after that. But then if I put it back, it would give me the same deal. But I did find out if I added more game modes, at least in particular, I just wanted to just play deathmatch, so I just had that set as default. And then after that, I just like, okay, I guess I'll put in snipers in that too. And then that gave me a little bit more success, it seemed like. And a lot of people were saying if you turn off the network relay in settings, which basically is, I guess, a setting that lets you block your IP address from showing to other people's that are snooping your network traffic on their end through the multiplayer connection. If you were to turn that off, that it would get you better results in terms of matching with other people or whatever. I didn't really see any difference between turning it on and off. But either way, I tried turning it off, but didn't really notice a difference personally. So I guess your mileage may vary there, but overall feels like good old Halo Reach. I did have some weirdness with my controls. I thought it was my Elite controller, but it seems like it's just some weird difference and change, I guess, since I played Halo Master Chief Collection, where basically the issue I was having is like my aim felt like ridiculously unusually off, where I was like getting to the point like, man, is it just me? And I just like, do I just suck at Halo now? Like permanently? Can I just do nothing? But I found out that if you adjust the dead zone settings for your controller, which I never noticed within Halo Reach, they must have added that somewhat recently, because it always felt off to me. But then after I adjusted it, I think I toned down the sensitivity or the percentage of the dead zone, and then it felt more natural than more aligned to what I was used to. So I guess that's a thing to know, something I didn't know, that I was like, okay, maybe my controllers broke or whatever. But then when I was playing Call of Duty, I didn't notice any of that within that game. So kind of add more validity to the issue being within the game itself, which ultimately I did find out was the issue. So for what it's worth, to save some time in your life and frustration, and you, I guess, evidently throwing your controller at somebody that didn't deserve it, you just taking it out on your wife, aren't you? You're just taking it out on your wife, and she didn't do nothing. She just trying to make you some biscuits and ham, and then you just gonna throw the damn controller. She probably bought you the damn controller in the first place. Let's be honest. All right. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Okay. I don't know who that was directed to, but you're welcome. So, yeah. So Halo Reach got a little kinks to iron out, which is somewhat expected. Understandable why they're staggering it out. And they did do the flight or whatever too. So I mean, it's just comes with the nature of the business. I mean, the nature of the game. I don't know. Another game I was playing, and I guess this is kind of going into Xbox Game Pass, which I am totally not trying to just like promote, but Jesus, that is a great ass value, man. God, they added some new games to Xbox Game Pass, so I was just trying to mess around with those. My friend Pedro, I'm sorry, I have to get this out of my system. My friend Pedro, that's my attempt at, sounding like I'm Mexican, but I'm not. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. My friend Pedro, pretty awesome. If you're a fan of Max Payne, which I am, one of the biggest fans, this is totally up your alley, because man, just the John Woo-ness of playing a game is pretty great. You got the bullet time technically, or I forgot what I'm pretty sure they probably coined some term that just is not coming to me. I think there's a weird iconography with a banana, and that's your friend. I guess his name is Pedro. Pedro the Banana. I think that I would assume they call it Banana Time. I don't know. That's just a hunch. I don't remember if that actually was, but you can It reminds me of a weird mix between Hotline Miami and Hotline Miami and Max Payne. If Hotline Miami and Max Payne had a baby, I think it would be my friend Pedro. That boy, that sounds weird when you put it in when you just say it out loud like that. Yeah, we you have my friend Pedro. Sound like I'm on an episode of Maury, but whatever. Let's let's not get caught on that. But yeah. So it's just it's like it's encouraging you to shoot enemy or kill enemies quickly and run through the level and beat it in a quick manner while being efficient and not getting killed, which is reminds me very much so of Hotline Miami, where that was kind of the focus, even though there was more emphasis on being killed instantly. I think generally you get killed with one hit, with exception of some items and masks that you can use and equip that kind of would adjust that. But in general, that was the general, I guess, I don't know, like design pillar of the game, really. But which is why that reminds me so much of Hotline Miami. Also the music, the soundtrack, which is pretty great. It does give me the same Hotline Miami vibes as well too. So all in all, I probably only played like 2 levels because I was just trying to dabble around in some of the games I've never tried or just been sitting in my backlog and have been working up the courage to try to get around to, as this being one of them. So yeah, but pretty awesome game, man. I'm definitely gonna see it through. I'm guessing considering it's an indie game. I'm not expecting it to be very long or expansive, but I'm definitely enjoying what I played. So next on that list, Blazing Chrome. This is just like this is basically a spiritual successor to Contra Hardcore for the Sega Genesis, because it looks like it was just a ripped out sequel to that game, honestly, just from the design aesthetic. And one really cool ass freaking Easter egg that I totally love and is so damn minimal is that when you're on the main menu of the game, at least specifically for Xbox, I can't speak for Nintendo Switch or PS4. I'm assuming that's the same though. Is that when you're on the main menu of the game, they freaking show your gamer pick, but it's all digitized like a game character. That is the stupidest minimal thing ever, but that shit is so damn fucking cool to me, and I cannot get over how cool that is. So that instantly just put this game on like my good side, if anything. So but overall, man, just the shooting felt really good. It just, if you love Contra, you are totally gonna love this game. Probably played like I got 1 level in, but I definitely see myself seeing it through and beating it. See kind of what comes of that game ultimately. So definitely recommend it though. It's pretty dope. And then I finally got around to messing around with Terry Bogard. I sound like, does it sound Canadian? Terry Bogard, eh? You gonna play Terry Bogard, eh? I don't know where I was going with that, but so I was messing with Terry Bogard in Smash, and boy, he's looking like probably my favorite Smash character ever, to be honest. I just like his flexibility and his I guess nuance, or I guess just respect to his original IP from the King of Fighters and other related SNK games. So oh god. Oh, it's not looking bright for me. It's not looking good for me. Oh boy. But yeah. Terry, I just like his moveset. I like how he can combo into a lot of moves into his special, which not necessarily a lot of the other Smash characters can do. And it's just his dialogues are just great. Like, are you okay? Bust a move. Are you okay? Are you okay? Bust a move. It's just great. It is great. You can't. How can you not love that? So I see myself playing with him a little bit, maybe getting some practice down. But I played. I just messed with him in the training room. I didn't want to make all these boys cry. Online. I didn't want to. I didn't want to make anybody perspirate by going online. Didn't want to stress anybody out with all these moves. Didn't want to have to keep asking them, "Are you okay? What's the move?" So out of respect of making the Smash community, not freak out because I was playing them and that I just obliterate them to oblivion. I just didn't want to cause that stress on them. So I was like, you know what? Let me be the bigger man, not try to mess up a good thing a lot of these Smash people have going. And, just let me get some practicing in, and then when the day comes, there's gonna be a lot of sweat, tears, and pain. Wait on it. You just wait on it. Outside of that, boy, I played a hell of a lot of Modern Warfare, man, and man, it is just great. I am totally loving the game. I think it's honestly right behind Modern Warfare 2 as one of my favorite top favorite Call of Duties of all time. Which is pretty good considering in terms of like some of my favorite Call of Duties. Yeah, this is definitely the best Call of Duty in a while. Black Ops 4 is legitimately pretty good too, so I can't even say that. But I say I gravitate towards this one more than Black Ops 4, even though Black Ops 4 is still good on its own. So, took advantage of the double XP, both XP and weapon XP over this past weekend as well. At least from some of the times I had to play, I did manage to get to my max rank, which is 55, and then it has this weird tier system that goes above that, but it goes season to season, and it has a battle pass system similar to like Fortnite and the battle royale games and stuff like that, where you have a set amount of couple months to kind of get through it, and then the next season rolls out and all that. So actually been invested in that. I actually ended up getting a battle pass because it seemed pretty enticing, and then technically they said you can earn all of that back. So in theory, if you just keep playing each season throughout its entirety, you don't necessarily have to pay or buy another season pass again. If you just get to the max rank, you get all your Call of Duty points back to apparently keep buying each season, which makes sense because it basically just keeps you invested in playing the game for that long. So I'm gonna see how this actually plays out in its entirety, and see if they, if it actually is legit. And then who knows? This might be my legit game I'm gonna be playing for a while if everything pans out like it does. But overall, I've been having a great time with it. Very curious to see. Just trying to max out a lot of my favorite weapons and see kind of what new weapons catch my attention, and try to max those out at I guess ultimately at the end of the day or with due time. But having a great time with it. So actually been keeping me from playing some other games I've been trying to play, but I just been having too much fun playing it. Just the gameplay just feels so good. The graphics, just the motion blur. I don't know, just some reason it just appeals to my senses and attention. So all in all, pretty pleased with it. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing gaming wise. I guess I'll mention Minute. I dabbled with that a little bit. I get the concept, just hadn't had enough time to play with it, I guess, to report on anything. But the concept is pretty cool. You have 1 minute to live each I guess round technically, and then you have to kind of be creative and work around the excuse me, that limitation to ultimately beat the game technically, I guess. That's at least the concept I got. So Game Pass is great. Just gonna say that again. Again, I'm not paid by Microsoft, but Jesus, that is such a great value, man. It is such a damn great value. So many games, so many good games at that. Because you'd expect Game Pass. You get like some very subpar, like yeah, this seems like a Game Pass game. But a lot of the games, and obviously the Xbox exclusives and stuff like that, like day one you can play on Game Pass. It is just crazy the value that this presents and just the immense like library of great titles. If you are kind of on the fence about playing games and stuff like that, this is a perfect entry point, man. I'm trying to tell y'all. And then especially if you're a new user, you could just pay $1 and you can get all these games to play all you want for it's just crazy to me. I don't know. Again, I'm not sponsored by Microsoft. This is a crazy value to me. It still blows my mind. So, outside of that, off-topic stuff, really nothing else has been popping or happening outside of that. Walking Dead's on a mid-season hiatus, so obviously I haven't been catching up with that. I did not renew my Disney Plus subscription for to continue Star Wars, but I'm more than likely gonna renew that at some point to catch up on The Mandalorian. I was pretty curious, and then seeing all these damn Baby Yoda memes is like, goodness, okay, I should probably see this through since people are ranting and raving about it. Also been hearing a lot of good stuff about The Watchmen on HBO. I may actually try to check that out at some point too, but we shall see. I don't know. I feel like with the end of the year, games and all that, that might have my attention more than anything. But other than that, I think that's gonna do it for me, guys. Thanks for watching and or listening. If you like to support the podcast in any way, shape, or form, feel free to submit feedback via Apple or your various podcast platforms. If you have any questions you'd like to submit to the show that would be eventually read on the show, feel free to submit them at aswitchtv@gmail.com. You can also catch this podcast live on Twitch TV/aswitch Thursdays at ideally the same time, roughly around the same time, which depends on where you're from. I'm sorry, I'm trying. I can at least guarantee you every Thursday. There we go. I can at least say that, so you know it. I see you too, Hex. I see you too. Yeah, so I think that's it, guys. Very interesting week. Resident Evil 3, man. The hype is real. Yeah. Until next time, guys.